All right, all right. We are back. Welcome, everybody. We have a special guest, Tyler Fair with Aesthetic Anodizing. Um, we have him on tonight. He is a big time anodizer for a lot of big people. So, with this being said, welcome to episode 16. Tyler, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. It's
Yeah,
super excited. Ryan, kick it off.
Yeah, I'm excited to have Tyler here because, he's a longtime friend, longtime competitor against me, leaning back to the old CXPL days and before. And aside from that, he's also the artist and the brainchild behind all of my custom anodized paintball markers. So every time I get a compliment about the marker that I use, that compliment also belongs to Tyler as well. He's always done a fantastic job and deals with my bullshit as I make him do things that most people would not do for guns. So he's much appreciated with that. But that really just stems from our relationships that we've built throughout the years, way before he ever got into anodizing. So I'm excited to have you here. He's a fellow whiskey enthusiast, paintball enthusiast. He's a little bit conspiracy minded himself. We go on some pretty long tangents. I didn't say any bad conspiracies. We go on some pretty we have some pretty long-winded tangent conversations at night over a glass of whiskey. So excited to have you on the podcast and let you kind of tell your story a little bit. And also
we should definitely tell them how it started with your original gun though. That's a great origin story.
Yeah, we definitely will with that. Why don't we kind of give a brief synopsis of like how you got into the sport and how you got into anodizing, and then we'll go into some more personal stories.
Personal stuff. Okay, I mean, how did I get? I started playing paintball when I was 13 years old. Now I'm like 15, so a couple of years. Yeah. No, I've been playing for I've never done the math for it, but over 20 years. I met Ryan and all the Heat guys and the All A guys in the AXBL, where they dished out and most importantly, Tim too.
We had a good contingent with me, Tim, and Sam there, along with all the other All-American Heroes guys.
They dished out the most brutal beating I've ever taken in any X-Ball match ever, and it gave me PTSD to this day.
It was funny because when we started going up there, a lot of those teams were pretty cocky in their own right. I was like, man, it's like this is the only paintball that they saw. We're all like nice and stuff, like me and all my friends that have been lucky enough to play professional paintball with for decades. But at the same time, like you do want to kind of let people know that there is a gap in experience and skill level.
You definitely did.
And we tried to prove that every time we went out there and played, and we had a good time doing it.
This was actually the beating you guys gave us was at the All A Park when I played in the AXBL.
Yeah, you guys talked a lot of trash before that.
I didn't talk no shit.
I didn't say you, I said you guys.
And I'm sitting there like, guys, like, why do we egg them on in their hometown at their home field? Like this.
We were probably hungover after a good party the night before. Came in, just had fun.
I literally left being like, I don't know where I got shot. I got shot from everywhere. That was it.
Well, it's not the worst beating that I've ever given someone, at least, so you can appreciate.
You know
that.
what? Okay,
that's one good. Time in an AXBL, we were going up to somewhere in New York to play. And JT Bouchard's like, I've been retired for a while, ex-Ironman, ex-American player. He's like, I've been retired for a while, but like, if you guys are coming, like this team asked me to play, like I'll go up too. So we ended up playing them that event, and we beat their team 28-1, and they wouldn't have even scored a point except we let our like third or fourth line in, and they got some penalties and lost a point. And I was upset because not only did they lose a point, but they also wasted like 4 minutes because we could have easily been in the 30s. And JT was like, well, came back because I wanted to see you guys. I didn't come back to get the worst beating I've ever had, but that's kind of what we like to do back then. We used to
set the tone.
Me and Tim always joked. I always called ourselves the Silver Surfers because a lot of times we'd go in, all these local leagues that had open spots available for like rankings didn't matter. and there was a period, where me and Tim were probably playing 35 tournaments a year. And during that time, we literally would go in, win the championship, never lose games, and then the league would just fold. And we were like the last champion of like 6 different leagues over this like 3-year period. God. So we always just called ourselves the Silver Surfers.
The bringers of doom.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So, all right, we're going to backtrace a little bit. What is going on with the origin story about Ryan's first?
I think I got to go for the origin story for the company first, though. He asked me that one.
100%.
Please.
I'll go in chronological order here for you.
That works. Let's send it.
So, I got into anodizing because Dye wouldn't give me a red M2. So,
my man's a red gun guy,
Yeah, like. So, shout out to Chris Williamson, Billy, and all those guys at Dye. But they did the 1 year they did a color block, and they didn't have a red gun in it. And I always got the red gun. And I was like,
for what it's worth, on the Idols when we came out with them, I made sure that we had a nice red for you.
You did a gloss red at that too. I was pumped.
A pretty deep red, didn't lean into the pink scale.
Yep, I could pull that right out of the box and shoot that proudly. It wasn't like one of them orangey pink lame ones. Red is very important.
There's little details of a company matter so much, and like so many times I get grief at them at DLX even, and people do across every company because it's like, does this really matter? I'm like, well, the little details matter to me. So if they matter to me, they'll matter to other people. And then there is the accumulation factor that's involved too. Like all those little details end up with a package that you appreciate more. But to me, like not everyone has to appreciate a detail, but the people that do understand like the thought process that went in behind it and the attention to detail and the intentional, like really specificity that you had towards this design of a product. And I think that matters for the overwhelming feel of a company.
For sure.
And I know like for you, like yours is like a mix between science and art. And it's even more important in an industry like that. A lot of companies like Planet started, and we do them now, do like the wraps, custom wraps for guns too. And you can get, photorealistic detail and stuff. But to me, as cool as that is, and it is cool, and I'm glad it's available, I still want a gun that's like a one-of-one artist recognized thing that was done and not mass producible. So that's what I appreciate about like you and a lot of the other anodizers too. I mean, I'm loyal to you because you're my boy and you always pull through with some ridiculously cool artwork.
Even if we got to make new stuff for you.
Even if you messed up, I'd still stick with you because you're my boy. But you don't. You always like honestly kind of wow me with your ability to make my ideas come to fruition.
But a lot of that comes from you though too, is like it's a symbiotic relationship, because the worst thing you can have is when shout out to Adam Garner, love the guy, but he'll be like, here's 30 guns, make them look sweet, make sure they sell. And it's like,
what's weird about for him it makes sure it sells. For him to make sure it sells part is the most important part. But the fact of the matter is that so many people want something cool like that, but if they can't put it into words of what they actually want, those are the customers and the people that I find are usually disappointed in the result, because my cool and your cool aren't necessarily the same thing. High quality is the same across the board, but personal preference isn't. So when you're talking art and things like that, like people have to be as specific as possible or not be picky, because as long as the quality is good, then if you're not specific with your demands, then you just have to accept quality. But if you know exactly what you want, then you better be able to explain it well and give the detail behind it, because if you don't, you'll get what you explained, but you're getting it through the ideas of the person who's creating it. And those aren't always the same thing.
And that's why I've even with you, I'll go over stuff and be like, was this what you meant? Is this exactly what it is? Sorry for the redundancy, but it's a lot easier.
No, and
you
know, and we learned that a long time working back and forth with each other, but also just being people that have, you know, dealt with other people and customers for a long time. But, you know, when we go back and forth, you know, a lot of times I'll start with like inspiration pictures. So you can get an idea of where my mind was at, a feel for the vibe and the, you know, the aura that I want out of it. And then I go into the detail of like how I want it done, how I want it to look. And then you're like, well, that process is impossible. This isn't. And then you come back a couple of days later, you're like, well, maybe. And the maybe always turns into a yes. And I do really appreciate all the painstaking work that you put into it.
Of course. It was you guys, and it was you and Tim that supported you, Tim and Sam that supported me from the jump. So it's always for you guys. I got to put on, right?
Yeah.
But the funny story, Hal, is like when this guy originally sent over it was a Lux Ice at the time. He's like, you know, he showed me some inspiration. We're going back and forth. And it was like, it's still a really cool idea. And it was like a rough, like when you see someone charcoal sketch.
Yes.
Like that. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. At the time, I had no idea how to do that. Right. And I was like, fuck, let me think on that, right? And a good friend of mine, Taylor Henderson, my best friend actually, was helping me, and we were having a couple drinks after work. And he's like, why the fuck does this guy want a charcoal sketch gun? And I was like, the hell do you mean? That's what he wanted. He goes, no, he's an all-American. America. Fuck yeah. And I was like, yeah. So then we got really drunk, and then we came up with some ideas. And then we came back to Ryan, and we're like, this is sweet. Either we were really hammered and this was cool then, or this is actually a cool idea. And that's how it started.
Yeah, and I guess previous to that, lead to that, I had, you know, all American S guns, even with like Planet, the my Grumpy Cat Geo.
Grumpy Cat, legendary.
So every Grumpy Cat, you know, the meme that was out there had the All American bandana that I wear. So that was plastered over it, and that had it. Funny story behind that actually was back then, like all of Planet's custom guns they did for players, like they had to approve them because they wanted it to go with like the vibe and culture of the company as well. And if you notice back then, there was just a lot of like flames and skulls and snakes. And
And
like, that's just not the vibe I want for guns. So I wanted like, you know, a comedic break from things, something that was unique. And I came up with the idea, talked to some people. One of the designers who's actually working for Jacob, who's working at HK now, which he's had a successful career. Like I just posted on, he is a great designer. But I just posted on Facebook, like, hey, I have an idea for my private label Geo. Is anyone willing to help me with it? And he was like, really willing right away, made my idea come to fruition. And I send this to Planet and immediately get back an email like, no.
What?
What do you mean? They go, that's stupid. It won't sell. Like it's not cool. And I was like, no, I don't really care what you guys say. It's cool. It'll be fine. And like, they eventually agreed to it with like a little bit of pestering from me. But like that became one of the most iconic Geo3s ever. I mean, you don't see them for resale. Like I sold them all instantly. I kept the one I had for a very long time before,
the last one I saw was like
parted ways for it. Yeah, for like a gun that's now, you know, 10 plus years old. Exactly. So so it became pretty iconic. And I had another funny story with them. And I had a great relationship with Planet. You know, I think it's as someone who has made paintball my life, like I have great relationships with people in all these companies. Like even if they're competitors or not my sponsor or whatever, I appreciate the things that they do for the sport. They have the same love for it as me. So I'm just telling these couple stories because they're funny, but like they've also did a lot of good for me too. You know, they're a great promotional company as well. I mean, I was with DLX and Smart Parts for a long time before, and in the 4 years that I was with Planet, they probably marketed me more than DLX or Planet did. Well, a lot of that too is it's like when you get a new fancy toy, you get to market it. When you have someone that's been around, you kind of forget about them. And I'm not saying like DLX or Smart Parts ever forgot about me back then, but they had a big stable of players, and that I was always there, right? So sometimes you overlook what you have, and Planet never did that to me, so I really appreciate that. But like that Geo story, it was funny. And then also like when they came out, was it the 3.5 that had the ATP pipe?
3.1. No, 3.5. 3.1 and launched with it. 3.5 had the back cap with it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm talking about the pipe that went through, like the air through pipe that went.
The first time it came out?
Yeah, the first time it came out.
3.1.
So I was at the paintball extravaganza. They were so excited. And they're like, hey, check this out, what we did. And mind you, like, I had played with a Lux that had no macro line since 2008. I had the very first Lux, and they hand it to me, and I'm like, well, and I pick it up and I hold it. And I was like, well, it's kind of in my way.
Yeah, it's kind of.
They're like, no, it's not. I was like, well, it is. They go, well, like I hold my gun like this, and it's like right here. I was like,
hold it different.
I can play around it, but like it's not sweet. And they're like, well, no. Like, people don't hold their guns like that. And I was like, but I do.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I hold my gun.
You're telling your consumer, no.
I agree that a lot of players don't hold their gun like that. But the fact that I do, don't tell me that people don't. And like I saw the disappointment in their face because they were excited about their product and stuff. And it's the difference. You get asked about something new the same way, but people have one or two intentions. They either want you to give them constructive criticism and tell you their true feelings,
or blind praise,
or they just want patted on the back because they're so excited about something that they bring that they wanted you to be like, yeah, that's sweet, just a little pick me up for them, right? And that was more towards that side. So it didn't take them too long in the grand scheme of things to move past that and finally do it right. Longer than it should have, but not too long. And I don't miss the days of macro line recutting it because it was too crimped and leaking, or getting the ones that were the wrong ID.
Remember the 3.1 how it had that like knuckle thing where you'd screw it to pop the reg out? Remember, you'd screw it together. You never did that.
Oh yeah. You're saying it had like two pieces.
The AT pipe. Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
So when they originally came out, they had it was like almost like a sprocket on the one end.
Yeah.
And it would just shred my fingers. Yeah. And then after that, I just started taping it, and I put it in backwards because it wouldn't shred my hands open.
Yeah, they're a great company, but they have their own quirks, and they're following.
It's part of being British, right?
It's just weird because the following they have.
What happened to Angel?
Makes them untouchable as far as like on the internet. They have so many fans.
You got that one.
You can't say anything. I heard it. I like it. They blew all their money on partying and coke, baby.
I say that as we got this kicking on. Yeah. So, I can't even front.
Well, the first Angels when they first came out, I remember that.
Iconic.
I'm dating myself. But those you had to charge with your car.
Yeah.
And I literally saw some of the first ones kill car batteries trying to charge them. So
give me the juice.
every company that is iconic has had their own downfalls and have their own struggles because everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and it's just funny to me when Planet everyone just sticks up for them. But the ATP pipe was a prime example. The another thing, those ones that had the adjustable vent for the softer shot and stuff.
The SFR,
you could just cover it with your thumb and get a 30 feet per second gain in velocity. Yeah. I was things like that. It's man,
not that I ever did that.
Well, it wasn't.
No,
I mean, it wasn't very useful in the long term of things. If you're really holding it and trying to snap shoot, you might have done
one
it,
ball cross field, snap that dude's head.
If you're doing that, I hope you broke every time you did it. No, it's not as bad as when teams have been caught with dwell ramping guns back when dwell really affected velocity. That's not sweet. That's like dangerous. Like whatever, people
dangerous,
cheat with rate of fire, but like
dangerous but cool.
I've seen people. If you're getting shot 350 feet per second, like not only can you break fingers and stuff, which whatever fingers, whatever, they heal. But like you can get concussions and stuff from shooting someone that like I've been like shot like point blank at 350 and had like a vein sticking out of my forehead for like 2 years after, and like literally had like a horrible concussion and
be a little tougher.
Couldn't show my. I am pretty tough now.
Be more American.
Yeah. Can you be a little harder for me? I'm just kidding.
I'll try. But, I try to hide most injuries.
But Tyler, I want to rewind. So you got back, right? We went. So they didn't have your color.
Yeah.
And so now you wanted your color, which is red, right?
So
what? How'd that process happen?
So I was playing with Cleveland Imperial, with Danny Schonauer, those guys.
Okay.
And we took fourth at the event, and we just you took fourth, whatever. Start drinking, right?
Right.
So we start drinking.
Sad drinks.
Sad drinks, right?
First is happy drinks.
This is just I'm drinking away my, whatever. So we're behind the die booth, and they asked me. I was drinking straight whiskey, Canadian.
Okay. Got to watch that Gretzky whiskey. It got me one time at the ICC.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
It was yours.
Yeah. It's down the street, bro. So we're behind the die tent, and they asked me like what I thought of like the next year's wine, and I was a couple drinks deep at that point, and I said everything was sweet except for the fact you fucked me with all these lame guns and didn't give me a red gun.
Okay.
And they're like, "Oh, stop! It's not gonna. Do you really need it?" I was like, "Just fucking do one as a sample, and we're done. I won't tell anyone."
Yeah.
Let's go. No. So then I get nice and drunk at this point, another 2 drinks, and I was like, fuck you guys, I'll do it myself. And then the next day.
Now, before this, just curious, because like, what year is this round?
When did the CS1 come out? It was that event.
Because before this, like, early to mid 2000s.
Yes.
Like, no one was really anodizing custom. No. But like kids started like, baking black in their ovens and turning them brown and doing stuff. Not a good time in anodizing, but I'd say that's when like the attraction to it and the idea that it wants. For sure. Standing your shockers. Like when I used to play with Jason Edwards and Aaron Tolley on Miami Effect, they would carve hate into the side of their guns with a pocket knife.
I've seen those.
And it was a different time period, but when kids started baking their own guns, that I think was the beginning of a resurgence of customability or customizing and knowing that people wanted to be unique. So it just then took time for people like yourself and other anodizers to be like, oh, I'm going to offer you guys what you want, which is the ability to stand out a little bit in a team sport, the ability to put your own stamp of approval on something and to have a little personality that's visible, right? You're not really seeing our eyes or our faces while we play.
Got a headband and a gun.
Yeah. Headbands and guns are pretty much some teams' cleats are the only things where you can have a little bit of personalization. So that's where you have to kind of show your personality. And, I think that was the beginning of it. And then by the time that you started getting into it, where you're like, man, Die's not making this red gun for me. I'm going to try. You're going to finish that story soon. But even then, there was probably, a handful of good anodizers out there.
Yeah, there was always anodizers. Good would be a subjective one. There was a lot of guys.
Caustic was around for a long time.
There's a lot of guys that predated me, and they're still in the industry. Like, Arc Anodizing predated me. Shout out Ryan, Brock, those dudes, all great people. Precision Color Techniques, That's Sean over there in Maryland. Mario Calva with FX Anodizing in Texas. Who else? And then that was pretty much. There wasn't really a Blizzard. Rob at Blizzard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And when it's a small community like that, people are so much more willing to help eager, actually interested people to succeed. You know, it's like paintball as a whole, like the professional side is small compared to other major sports. So people have more access to us so that we're willing to give our input and help them out. Did you find that when you were starting anodizing? Did other companies and people help you, or is it more of like no, we don't want you in my space?
There's yes, no, sort of, maybe.
It's a little bit of both. Human nature.
A lot of guys were really cool with helping. Like Ben Sides, also huge friend of mine, great friend over in Toronto. He helped me out when I was starting. And a lot of those guys are willing to help with like the basics. I still to this day pay it forward and do the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. Like now, you know, you're serious about it. You're stuck on something. You can't quite get it. You know, you've done the basic research. You know what you're doing, and you reach out and you say, "Hey, Tyler, like, this isn't really working for me. Can you help me out?" I got no problem whatsoever. Now, if you come over and you're like, "Hey, can you teach me how to do all your proprietary techniques and show me your proprietary chemistry?" Little different.
It's like, hey, maybe I'll show you one thing if you show me something I don't know. Like, I need something that you have, and then that's a nice trade
too. That's a big thing though too. Is like a lot of like what we do for anodizing. When you actually think about it, from the professional commercial sense, everything we do is a product. There's a process flaw because their ideal is single color, even color, consistent color. Across
solid deep penetration.
100,000 pieces, even
consistency
layer, consistent layer across all parts. That's what they want to see. When we get
and that doesn't all come down to anodizing. I don't want to cut you off, but I think it is important for people to know that it's, you know, materials. So when paintball companies, you know, make their different gun parts from the frame to the body, feet, necks, accessories, out of different materials, different grades of aluminum, those will anodize differently. The finish on a product as well, you know, from Ryan, the blasting, the machining.
I'm going to give you that one. But I'm going to challenge that one because this is a huge common misconception, and it actually really is to placate and kind of just pass off being lazy.
No, that's perfect. This is, you know, I'm just saying what I've heard. So, like, I'd rather.
So when people say about material wise and stuff, and it's not possible or realistic to have colors.
I wasn't saying it wasn't possible, but if you didn't know that there were two different materials, you wouldn't do them for the same times and matches and stuff like that, right? Like you can still match.
It's chemistry dependent too.
Okay.
Like a lot of, I mean, it's no secret, Eclipse is one of the biggest manufacturers in the world. They use a
60-36. Or do they use 60-32?
They use 60-36 on their frame and their tip. There's certain parts, right, that they use, and then the other stuff is 60-61. Now, it's all in the 6K family. Now, typically, if you were to just...
They don't use any 70-75?
No, 70-75, the only ones to ever use that was dye on the M3 end cap. And now the 7K stuff is the biggest pain in the ass because that has to be run independently.
Yeah. So,
you know, I do 10 M3s, and then for the next 45 minutes, I do 10 end caps for the ASA, and that's it. Yeah. Because you mix them, then they burn, right?
Yeah, so it's the difference in the series more so than...
Yeah. But I mean, color consistency really comes down to is like you'll see some manufacturers, and you know what, this is going to sound biased, but I'm going to be straight up. I've never seen it come out of Lux, where you'll get shades that are kind of off. You know, blacks won't be the same black. You'll get like a purpley black, a blue black. You'll get reds that range from red to deep red to pink. And the biggest thing there is everyone says, well, it's not realistic to be able to keep color consistency across X amount of parts. Well, guess what? It is
if you keep the chemistry the same and the timing the same and the voltage and the wattage.
That comes in to it's kind of like what I do for my main job, right? Running equipment. It's finding perfection. I run heavy equipment like bulldozers, excavators, massive loaders, things like that. But perfecting your skill set in a workplace is the most crucial thing, because what y'all are talking about is past my knowledge, right? But I can relate at the same time, because there may be a different way to run a piece of equipment and things. When you start perfecting those things, like you understand the small finite details,
all the nuances behind what makes it work,
precision and the algorithm technically behind it, right? Like, so what you do is not only work and skill, but it's also a massive part of artwork, in my opinion.
Truly, like a renaissance trade, right?
Right, yeah. Because here's the deal: you get a new piece that, like you're talking about, a different quality, different metal, something.
Finishes make a big difference too for how a color does. So
it's like, so we start talking in layman terms, like, I know real guns. I can start spatting that off, right? Like, the quality finish that you get changes what you end up doing, but it's also how you finish your masterpiece. So I think what you do in your form of work is not only a major skill set, right? Like, it's very known to few. Yeah, of course. But I think it speaks highly of the thought, the mentality, the process, the diligence, the minute detail that can massively change the outcome of your product, which speaks highly of your product. And so, I'm not trying to get on my own tangent, but like,
no, I understand.
No, for sure. And I got pictures of Ryan's gun this year, because I run Heat's page this year.
Nice.
I started that
Better
this
tag
year.
me more often then, bro.
I will, bro. Now that I know, like, my dog, I got you, pimp. No, and if I get a good gun from this DLX drop, I'm gonna have you do my work.
We'll make that happen.
Let's get it on.
We'll make it a cool gun. Don't worry.
And I'll keep this short, but
I think he's got an idea of what he wants.
Oh, Whom the Bell Tolls. I just bought, and Ryan and I talked about this the last episode, I just bought a first edition Whom the Bell Tolls book. And I would love, if I get a good gun, I'm gonna send it to you.
What, the Houston Heat gun I gave you wasn't a good gun, Hal? Jeez.
It's a great gun. It's a phenomenal gun, but I don't want to change that, because that has meaning to me.
Of course.
And I will never change that. And I guarantee you, that guy right there is the guy that fucking did the anodizing, and it is choice.
He's not. We wrap those in house.
Yeah, that's not me. That's not me. I appreciate the love, nonetheless.
He does do a lot of custom work for our company, regardless.
Yeah.
But we do a good job with our wraps.
Very good.
But I would love to get a gun done in Whom the Bell Tolls. So I was prior.
I'm ignorant, but what is this? The book that I haven't read? It wasn't on the syllabus, boys. Whom the Bell Tolls. What book is that?
Ooh.
Okay, I've just
Ernest
out.
In it,
Hemingway.
I'm gonna put you.
Ernest Hemingway.
I'm gonna put you on a 5-minute tangent for this, Al. That's what you get. You're allotted 5 minutes.
I'm getting cut off. I'm getting cut off.
Go, please.
From the talker, Ryan.
I'm the talker. I'm just
English
saying,
lit guy right here. Unload.
I'm just saying, as far as a summary of the book. I'm not cutting you off. I'm just saying you get 5 minutes to
I will just explain this very shortly. So Ernest Hemingway actually was a journalist for the Spanish Civil War. Okay. This is after World War I just happened, and he went over there, and he was a journalist for it, and he wrote this book about it, and it's about an American that has to go take down this bridge in Spain, and he's working with these people who are trying to defend their homeland. Right. Okay. Metallic song.
Hold on. Before that, so you have the premise for your idea. What would you want the actual gun to be?
But at the same time, I like what Hal's doing here, though, because he's doing
a story. He's giving you the story.
Ryan Moorhead, where he goes, here's my vision board.
Here's why I like it. Here's why.
Exactly. Here's the
you
part
look at me. I might not be like a first edition book buyer, but here's why I invested in this, because I wanted this because it means something to me. Like, yeah.
But the song, if you date it back to Metallica, right?
That's where I know, like, the
Who the Bell Tolls.
Yes, yeah.
So you know what it was originally by? The song, or sorry, it was a short poem by John Donne.
John Donne?
Yeah. D-O-N-N-E.
One of my favorite authors. I didn't know that. I have his anthology over on my bookcase here.
So I'll read you the short.
Yeah, everybody can surprise you with something, right?
Right?
Oh, dude, it's nuts. So, real quick, the short from John Donne is "No man is an island entire."
That's J.G. Ballard's book I love. No man is an island. Go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a man of the main. If a clod be washed away from the sea, Europe is less, as well as a premonitory where, as well if a manner of thy friend or thine own where. Any man's death diminishes me, because I'm involved in mankind, and therefore never sin to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for me. That is the opening of Whom the Bell Tolls. That's the first thing you'll read.
It's human nature. It's death. It's
the, not only that, but you know my prior, like, death is when the bell tolls. Like, you can be the person that tolled the bell or who it tolls for, right? Like, it's such an iconic and massive movement, right? Like, you are the choice of fate, but how your fate comes out. And the book has always resonated massively with me. So with that being said, I want to really dig in your story. So if I win a
no. So what would you do for your gun then? See,
I would want to hear what he wanted to do. And then
you'd want to give the spin on what you think about it.
In due diligence, I'd research it, and then
you know what I'd make you do? You know what I'd make you do? I'd buy you the book, tell you to read it, and then this is what I want, and then I'd tell you, make it up. So,
completely honest,
you would hate that?
No, he just doesn't know how to read.
Yeah, I can't read. No, honestly, a lot of it comes down to the time for reading. Like for me, like if I'm prepping parts or if I'm blasting parts, polishing parts, I actually throw a book on. So like I listen to books,
an audio book just in your ears, like a podcast.
It's free on Spotify.
But for me to sit there and physically flip through and read, like
listen to it.
Yeah, like, I could do that. I crushed the entire New Testament. When I polished those guns for you guys, including those HK Luxes.
That's dope.
Adam Gardner.
The Bible has some gnarly stuff in it.
Some great stuff.
The Bible is the most gnarliest history book you will ever get into.
Oh, is it ever?
Dissect it.
Oh, is it ever?
And then what's fun is, like, if you really want to get into it, start dating. Okay, go to the Bible, go to history books, start coinciding timelines. You want to get your mind blown?
Oh, yes.
Bro, it is nuts when they start talking about the Roman Empire, because things coincide so hard.
Well, I think when people think about the Bible, especially the New Testament, they think it's so antiquated, but it is a lot more current than
That's
people give it
you're
credit for.
totally right.
It's because
It's written antiquated, but
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
written hundreds of years, thousands of
Yeah.
years ago, but the knowledge.
not even. Yeah, it was spoken then,
Yeah.
and then eventually written, but
and then written. Yeah, it was
Exactly.
written by the
and then only deciphered by
apostles, right?
people that were allowed to
Exactly.
read. And then Gutenberg's invention of the printing
bless the
press
printing
really
press.
was revolutionary for the ability to people to learn to read and to access their own information. And we're in a new age of that now with
Transference.
how
of
ridiculous
information.
the internet has
So-
become. Like, we can get information from anywhere. It's not always right and it's not always wrong. Like it could be right or wrong, and we have to decipher that ourselves. But it was like that back then too, with just a limited sources you could get from. Like, you're hearing word of mouth from something, or going and listening to like a town speaker, or
your
when the
priest,
printing
that
press
was it.
came out, it's like, oh, this book is written about this must be true. There wasn't consenting opinions or anything like that. So what was written was just true, and you took it at its face value. And there's good and there's bad in that, because the more you find out, there's so many nuances in any aspect that you could have, a devil's advocate take on something. But the information age we're in now is cool, because if you really truly want to learn about something, you have the ability to. You just have to not be swayed by
Look at what I did.
things that are wrong. Exactly. And that's what I wanted to get back to, actually, is like, so you're there, didn't have red guns, you're like, I'm gonna try to do it myself. How did you start that process? Did you
Yes, thank you.
how did you research that, or did you reach out to someone that already did it, or did you just jump in and go, oh, I'm gonna hook a battery up to this and drop some acid in? Like, I mean, you had to get some base knowledge from somewhere.
I mean, there's that one quote, I'm paraphrasing, and I don't know exactly who originally spoke it, but the Vikings were famous for burning the boats. I know Gary Vaynerchuk has made it very popular, but the term "burn the boats," right? Like, if you commit to something, like the Vikings were so successful because they had no way out, right? I didn't necessarily exactly like you're not going home until you conquer this shit.
Yeah.
So
they were great boat builders, but they needed to conquer it to get the good trees and the time.
Yes, the time to be able to make the boat to go back home.
Yeah.
So I mean, I started researching. I was you guys were in Paris, actually, I think, right? Because I was texting you guys. You guys are in Paris, and I was talking to Sam, and I was on night shift. So I was at night shift in General Motors, and you know what? God bless the lean manufacturing process that they taught me there, because I learned so much.
Yeah.
I hated it at the time. I'm like, you guys are fucking retarded, but grateful for it in the grand scheme. But
there's good and bad to corporate settings.
Exactly. But, you learn a lot. But I sat there and I started researching online. And believe it or not, actually, when I was in university, I took a course, because I did a degree in English literature and arts and history. So one of my history courses was the history of technology, which is pretty interesting, because you got to see how they tried to understand it and stuff. And one of the articles that we had for seminar was about anodizing aluminum for like warships and stuff. And I remember reading this and I was like, what the fuck am I ever going to need to know this for? This is retarded. And it's burned in my mind, because my TA was a British fellow, and he was an older British fellow. So you know how aluminium, he just kept saying aluminium. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to need to know about aluminium and this anodizing bullshit? This is retarded. Well, lo and behold. So
here you are.
Here we are. I mean, I started doing a bunch of researching. I read some articles. There was no like YouTube videos or anything like that at the time. I read the Caswell LCD manual, which is the low current density version, and that gave me like a good working knowledge to start playing around. And then I just bought some supplies from a place in Toronto that sold anodizing supplies on a smaller scale, because like when I buy now, I can't buy I don't buy a container of dye. I get 4 or 5 kilos of dye. You know what I mean? So I got this place.
You don't buy things in freedom units?
No freedom units. This is Canadistan here.
Canadistan.
Did they hear me talking?
Oh, 100%.
Probably.
They probably got bored before this, but they were listening.
I think Justin Trudeau's outside waiting to black bag my ass.
Well, he's in blackface, so you won't see him.
Yeah, good. We got rid of him though. He's his boyfriend. It's fine. Oh my god. So yeah, I started researching like that, and really a lot of it just came down to is you can read a ton of things. Like, I mean, Ryan, I'm sure you could write an incredible expose on how to play professionally and all the little nuances and what goes through your head. But I could read that 1,000 times over, and until I've actually done it, it's just words.
Putting something into application, is way different than hearing someone else put it into application, because the process behind what gets someone there might not even be your process. And that's the same even for a scientific process like anodizing, because it's just the way they're describing it, or the way that you're actually going to do it, or the way that you take in information isn't always a one-to-one from what someone
exactly saying. And the crazy part was when you research anodizing, it gives you this much. This is how to do it. This is how to make a single color, because that's what everyone wants to do.
Which ideally, that's what you wanted to do too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to. You know what? No, actually, I started and I was like, fuck.
But I'm saying when you first you wanted red, and then you're like, well, if I'm going to do something.
I was retarded. I was like, I want one of them fire splash. We're just going to start right out the gate. We're not going to play around on easy mode. We're not running the tutorial.
I mean, how much harder could it be to throw some splashes on there,
Right? Yeah.
You literally burned the bridge. Or burned the boats. You were like, this is it. Let's go.
And you really burn the boats when you're watching that part etch and you go, we got to do it now.
Am I ruining this?
This is either a $2,000 mistake or we're gonna thug it out. But
so how long have you been in the anodizing business?
Okay, so I started playing around right after World Cup, that event. So whenever the CS1 came out, I think like 2016, 2015.
It was post 2014. So.
Yeah. So somewhere around there. And then I was just playing around. It kept dicking around.
2014.
2014.
I just Googled it.
Yeah. Perfect. So
like my last year on Impact was 2013. So 2014 I was with Heat. I was like, I definitely never used one, but
yeah, you were definitely on Heat at the time, because I was talking. Yeah, because it was you and Sam I was talking to.
Yeah,
you've been on Heat since the jump, though.
No, I came in
after
2 years after. I was on. So after
the
Philly Americans. Well, first after the Philly Americans went defunct, I went to Impact by myself. I was the first American that ever played with them. We won the first event I ever played.
Now there's no Canadians that play with them.
There's still a few. JC's my man. Zach Yakimek's my man.
Those guys are awesome.
I miss Wilmette. If it's Zane still's coming to tournaments, there's still a contingency of.
But they're California Impact.
Yeah, like when I think of Impact, I still think of Zane, Zach, JC.
Yeah, those guys are sick, and they're Canadian before.
Yeah.
So, I guess what I would like to know about you is, your inspiration. You are truly an artist, right? Like, you work in metals. You make these designs. You are.
What I think what's cool is like there's two types of art. There's art that you just look at and appreciate, and like every time he ever gives me one of my guns, like I instantly tag it as functional art because
Yeah,
it's
but
like meant to
that-
be used. It's meant to be appreciated. It's meant to like see the light of day. And by the end of it, yeah, maybe it's scratched up and beat up, but that just adds a little more character to it.
But
It's
I gotta
made
say
to
the
take that.
durability on yours and the UV.
The durability is good.
That's
For sure.
But-
The durability is good, but I'm still not the most careful with it. They still hit
No,
rocks here and there.
that's the testament. That's the testament. I'm
For
like,
sure. For sure.
Ryan's gun still looks
I've
good.
always been that as a tester, If you want to break something, give it to me and I'll see.
That's exactly it, bro.
I'll tell you a weakness.
Yeah.
So, do you, as an artist, do you enjoy like fine tuning a plan, like someone has an idea, or do you really like the personal freedom, saying like me, where I'm like, I would like for you to listen to the book, check it out, tell me like this is my theme, this is my only requirement, everything else is gonna be up to you, and so I'm gonna love it.
This is a very good question now. So it's a lot easier when you're running at scale to have someone say, hey, I want 10 red to black fades. I want 5 of these. I want 5 of them. That's a lot easier. When it comes to like certain projects, though, I like certain creative flexibility because one, it's like sometimes when a customer tells you like, I want it done exactly like this, you're like, okay, cool, I can do that. That's 3 days worth of work. Are you prepared to pay for that? So I like to be able to kind of make it and adjust it so it's within their budget, so it's something that they can achieve, not just designing some wild outlandish thing exactly like they wanted, but you're like, yo, that's gonna be $3,000.
I like to give them realistic expectations of what they're getting into and what their
the hard part
would cost.
But the hard part though is like it's like the paradox of skill and technique, and like as you advance through it, I remember you've been there through the entire thing, Ryan. Like when I first started, I'd be like, dude, look, I did a fucking fade, man. And we'd be like, that's sick.
And sometimes he sends me messages, and sometimes I say that's sick, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, let's go and break his heart, but I'm gonna tell him I think it sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do.
Exactly. And I'll be like, yeah, I think it's trash too. But
I was kind of excited about it, but
that's what they wanted.
Yeah,
that's what sometimes like you can't, if you have customers that want to, they're like, this is exactly what I want, and you're like, that's gonna look like shit, and they're like, that's what I want.
Yeah. So I kind of look at, maybe to a detriment, I look at everything through the lens of competition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you against your competitors, but when you're, that question that Hal posed to you, I look at it like almost as 2 different stresses. When someone tells you exactly what they want, it's the stress of being able to execute their exact vision.
I have no issue.
But then, no, I know, but then when someone doesn't give you really much
that's
guidance,
the harder one.
It tells you that's the stress of your own expectations, and that's what I was going to say. It ends up making it harder because it's like you want to impress yourself,
and I'm not satisfied with anything.
Exactly. You see all the minor flaws in it, and you're not trying to come to a finished product. You're trying to like outdo yourself. So I think that's sometimes more creatively
taxing.
It's definitely more creatively taxing. Sometimes it's more creatively rewarding as well.
Yep.
But it's always more creatively taxing.
But the hard part though is like when you sorry, Hal, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Go.
No. It's
this is non-live. This is like, non-in-person podcasting. There's always some here and there.
Talking, you're good. Ryan overtalks me all the time. Go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those things in like when you start, you're excited about a lot of things. And I've worked with a lot of guys that have just started or just starting. Shout out, Ruckus Anodizing, my boy Jeff Rose. I'll build that guy up, I taught him a ton of stuff. I mean, Aaron Highland over at Breaking Beard, I'm helping him out too. But it's cool because I get to look at it from a different lens now. It's like I watch these guys as they develop. And I think back to like looking, when Steven at Caustic, who's my absolute best friend, I talk to that guy every day, all the time, even though he lives in Texas and I'm Canadian, my best friend. And it's crazy because I could see the difference, like when I was starting, he took me under his wing and kind of guided me through and showed me the ropes and how I get excited about stuff. And now I can see it out of these guys. But like Ryan said, it's tough because when you compete against yourself, like there's very few things that impress me anymore.
Well,
and like when you've done, not saying I've done everything, but you almost feel like you've done everything. Like I got to this HK Shredder idol, and it was like, fuck, it might just be gloss red. I don't know.
But there's always then I always come up with an idea, and you're like, man.
Yeah, your ideas. I'm like, dude, seriously, like this is what the fuck, man.
So I will say, I guarantee you, when Michelangelo was painting the Sistine Chapel,
one of the best Renaissance plans,
dude, phenomenal. When Picasso was doing all this work, the doubt and unsatisfaction was always there. But that is in the chase of perfection. And that's how you know someone truly cares about what they do and they want to be perfect. But that is the beauty of being an artist, is that you're never going to be fully happy. Go ahead.
Now, on that, Hal, because you said something that just stuck out to me, and it's the chase of perfection, and it's a myth. It really is.
It is.
No matter what, when you finish stuff, people will be like, "That's incredible. That's the best thing," and they're like, "I'm gonna change something. I could have just put it here." But there's this. I watched a movie on Netflix called The.
I also don't believe in perfection because I believe it's
constantly getting better. Kaizen.
A limit's always able to be pushed.
Exactly. What
were you saying? Movie.
There was a quote. I'm trying to find it right now, and basically, you're right here. It's at the finishings that you must come to terms with the idea that perfection is a necessary goal, precisely because it's unattainable. If you don't aim for perfection, you cannot make anything great, and yet true perfection is impossible. And that was
Amen.
No truer words.
I heard that in the movie, and I might have been under the influence, but I was like, rewind that. That's good. I'm writing that down.
It's really good.
It really is, and that's one of the things that I come back to, because sometimes it's intimidating to yourself. You intimidate yourself because the quality of work you put out in the past, and you're like, well, how am I going to one up that? Yeah. How am I going to be better? What am I going to do different? And you get in your own head, and that becomes tough sometimes, because even with Ryan, he came up with his
show it off, man. Show it off. I think it's ridiculously sweet. So,
this is the debut. This is the debut.
Yeah. This is
all right.
So
you're gonna see it here, boys and girls.
I do have 3 guns that will be available on the market soon. That I tasked Tyler with a pretty hard challenge. But
did he ever?
Send it, Tyler.
Hold on here. Let me just find it.
While you're looking for that, I'd like to kind of touch on a point that you brought up about, someone new getting into something with that energy and excitement and calling you and being like, that kind of crosses all planes of life. And it's so important. And it's important for the person in that stage to realize you might not be the best at everything. You might look up to these people and do it, but you can bring something to it that's uniquely you too, and that could change the game entirely. And that could be in a work field, in an art field, in sports, and in anything in life. It's like, just because you're not the expert and they have done it one way, you don't need to emulate them. You can learn from them and learn what made them great. But to truly end up great yourself, I think you have to put your own spin on things and be uniquely you, because if you're always trying to emulate someone else, you'll always be a bad copy of them.
Exactly.
Or a good copy, right? Like a good Chinese knockoff. Like 99% of people might not be able to tell, But the 1% of people that are experts in that area are like, no, this is trash. This is fake. This is wrong.
You can buy it.
But when you do something that you do, that you have passion in, that you wanted to, and you put all of your effort into it, that becomes real. And that becomes the unique item. And I think that's important for people at that stage in a journey and whatever journey of life they're on to remember. And it's also important when you're past that to know that that's important for you too, even if you're already an expert in something, because those people pushing the limits make you need to push your own limits even farther. You need to take, little pieces from people that might not be as good as you or might not know as much as you, and use that to be better yourself.
That's where people always say to me, like, why are you willing to help? Isn't that like helping your competitor? To a sense, yeah, it is. These guys that I help out or coach, they could be competitors, but at the same time, they're learning, and through their learning, I learn different things.
Yeah, and I've said this a lot of times on this podcast. I've said this a lot of times on this podcast is like, selfishly, like sometimes I learn the best by teaching. And yes, they're getting something out of it, but I am too, because I have to really think about my word choice and think about how
you have to articulate to me.
I have to articulate
how
it.
It goes in your head.
And then I have to make sure that what I'm saying is true and not just my mind sway that I put on something. So teaching, yes, it's great for them, but it's also great for you. And there's nothing wrong with getting something out of something that you're doing. And
the way I see it is like a lot of these guys, like a lot of my mentors when I started, they helped me, and it was like, pay it forward, man. And I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm not afraid of anything. So go ahead, learn, develop, become better. And you know what? You want to try to push me? Cool.
And maybe one day they'll be able to make a gun as cool as the one you're about to show.
With that being said, lay it on me. Send this shit, brother. Damn.
So, I don't know if you can see.
It's like a marbleizing almost in the back.
All throughout.
Yeah.
So
like
it gives a lot of depth to the palette of colors. It shows more dynamicy. It shows more depth throughout the entire thing. And, the inspiration I gave him for this was a grunge American flag. And we talked back and forth, and he was like, man, I don't even know if this process, like how to begin it. And what he did, he didn't just dip his toes in, he crushed it.
So, what it really reminds me of, if you've ever gotten to go tour at the CIA headquarters, I
try to stay away from 3-letter agencies.
Yeah, bro, who are you talking to? You the Fed? Is it? I got to get up this podcast. It's my tinfoil hat.
Go grab it. It reminds me very much of the stone where all the stars are inscribed from everyone that has passed in the CIA. So that's where my first mindset went to. Very detailed. It's that marble. It's not even a granite look. It's a marble with black trace to it. That is incredible. That is in depth. That is amazing.
That was he gave me this idea, and I was like, shit. Like, and again, I could have done it the way like
people would have.
Yeah, there's a way people would have done it, and I was like, dude, I can't do it that way because like it won't match. The patterns won't be organic. And that's been my thing too, is like color continuity, everything through the entire part will be the exact same. Yep. No shade off. There's nothing out of line. Everything is the exact same. And
and you're an excellent polisher, by the way, too, because those HK guns are not easy to polish.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Shout out Adam Gardner. Love you, brother. Thank you for that one. And I'll send you the invoice for the arthritis I now have in my hands.
Just keep it one direction.
We'll wrap it up. I know y'all are much later than I am.
But we will have Tyler back on. I think.
No, I'm gonna say we gotta have a part two because I have so many more questions.
Oh, I knew for sure that you would get along.
And we haven't even covered playing in Canada yet.
Oh, we
haven't covered.
Canada.
We haven't scratched the surface.
We haven't covered anything.
Nothing.
But I did know you guys would get along well because I get along with both of you, and you're very similar in your willingness to be your genuine selves and say things the way you want.
Well, next time if I would have known he was bringing a cigar, I would have been chiefing on my pipe in
here. I didn't know if we were going to get canceled.
I'm a pipe guy. No,
we're not.
Dude, do you see the sign behind me? Rowdy Ones.
I love that.
We are it, my big dog.
For one thing, you can only get canceled by people that don't agree with your viewpoints.
And I don't. Okay. And if
I don't really care.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't really care. They don't.
I say what I mean, and if it's not accepted, then that sucks.
But whatever. I really want to dig a lot deeper into how you've gotten to and obviously I don't have time tonight. I got a pack for Chicago. I'm gonna go play a big game and then scrimmage. Nice. I'm gonna go scrimmage Infamous.
Yeah, he's gonna jump on with all my Heat boys, Ronnie and the three, John Chapa, Cody LaPapa, Jackson Frey. So he'll be the fifth body.
LaPapa just has a great name to say.
Oh,
I don't know him personally.
Well, you know what? When I came about, and I met him the first time, you two will get the reference. He didn't get it, I don't think. And I was like, Big Papa.
He's a quiet guy. He likes to soak in.
And I was like, I like it when they call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you a true player. What movie is that from? Spit it on me. Keanu Reeves. It's a baseball movie.
Oh my God.
Hardball, dog.
I didn't watch that. Dog.
Dude,
I've heard that a lot of times, and that's
it was a Biggie song.
I was just gonna say you're singing a Biggie song. You're like, what movie's that from? And
he threw me Keanu Reeves.
I was like,
that's bad Keanu Reeves acting time too.
This
is definitely pre-John Wick.
I loved it. I loved it, dog. That is a staple. That movie will make me cry every time. And if you watch the movie, you'll understand.
But Papa's a great dude, but he is one of those people that he wants to understand who you are before he really opens himself up. So
you tell LaPapa I love his last name, and when he wants a speed ass whip, to call the boy.
Dude, done deal. I'll tell him this weekend.
There you go.
There we go. I got it.
Done. But no, Tyler, I love your story because
thank you.
It's for sure. No, thank you. Because not only is it you've created this atmosphere, this business around yourself, but it was because of a minor nuance, right? A minor nuance. We're going to talk about a realism. It's a minor nuance, but you're like,
no, yeah.
Well, if you're not doing this for me, I'll do it for me.
Yeah, it's more of a minor inconvenience.
Yes, it's like be your own solution, not like even when I have issues, like if I have an issue with anything or ever, I call Ryan. It's not like this sucks. I had a problem with this. Like, I tried X, Y, and Z and this and that. So I always try shit, right?
Yeah, and what I love about that is it's not an underdog story per se. Because you had the determination to be successful.
You'll never be a man that does not quit.
Same, bro. And what I love about it truly is that you are someone that has created success because you didn't like the atmosphere that was there. And now you were very successful. Can you rattle off some companies to tell the viewers,
the difference in the world that you want to see,
Are you allowed to?
That's the companies that I work mainly with. I mean,
or with, not for with. Yes.
I'm everyone's contract slave. Starting first and foremost, DLX. I love those guys. I've had such a good relationship with these guys. From playing with them, with Tim. With all Sam's retarded shit that he asked me to do,
stay tuned. He's gonna be playing with a trout gun soon.
The trout. Should we show? Do we show the trout?
Yeah, show the trout.
We'll show the trout. That's almost like the time he calls me and he says, "Hey, I want to make a gun look like a penis pill package, and Adam won't let me do it. Will you do it? And I was like, yeah, of course.
I made him a nice voice pack for it too. So yeah.
Boner. Best.
Oh my gosh, send it.
The rainbow trout.
Okay.
Throw that a little closer.
It's a,
This is
it's
good.
a vertical.
Yeah, rainbow. There it is. Signature pink stripe.
Oh yeah, it's like an orangey pink. That took me a little while to blend in with the colors.
That is a hard color. That is.
It took me a minute.
Yeah.
Took me a minute, but yeah. I mean, what else we got for Sam here? We got some other stuff from Sammy. Some multicolors.
Oh, that's sick.
I mean, personally, it's cool, but red or black. You know me, Ryan.
Not your style, yeah.
Not my style. That's the thing. You appreciate the different stuff, but it's just not your shit. You don't rock with it. But one of these things that I think everyone can appreciate is, where is it?
I don't even know what he's pulling out.
A gloss black shredder. That's like a just a nice black tux. You know, like
you want a black to be
Sick.
deep, rich, and shiny. You know.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for a murdered out. If someone can get the matte coloring right, though.
Listen, Hal, I got the blackest black on the market. Scientifically proven. Shout out Tekavon. Y'all the best.
Dope. But back to what we were talking about. Let's touch on some of the companies.
Companies.
DLX that you work with.
Dye, Shock Tech. I've worked with Free Flow. Still work with ANS. I do a ton of ANS's work. Shout out to those guys.
Nice.
They're awesome because they're a great way to give people access to my designs and signature colorways without having to wait to send the stuff in. You can buy it new right from there.
Nice.
And they have it a variety of platforms as well. Who else? HK. I love those dudes too. They've been sending a lot of stuff my way. Shock Tech, Dye, DLX, Field One. I've done work with Boston.
You work for pretty much every manufacturer and big retailer, as well
I'm the guy
as
that they
individual
call
customer.
Exactly. They're the. I get a lot of the stuff that, hey, these shops weren't able to do it. They say it's impossible. What could you do? Those are the phone calls I love.
So
that's awesome.
We definitely are going to have you back on, though. I appreciate your time that you spent with us tonight.
That is not an option. It's not an option. It's mandatory now.
We're gonna have to break it to like American paintball beefs, Canadian paintball beefs.
Well, the next time we'll have you on, we're pretty loosey goosey with our scheduling and our timing. So like sometimes we keep them shorter, just depending on when we're doing them. But sometimes we can get into a 3-hour long talk too. So our next one we'll just schedule at a time where we can get deep into some 100%. Stuff.
Love that. We're going deep.
So my fingers are crossed. I win at least a mech era because it's GOG, mech era, eras, or idols. So if I win, dude, I'm gonna. Do you have Spotify?
I do have Spotify, yes.
Okay. Whom the Bell Tolls is on there for free. I love going to, I wind down at night to audiobooks.
Yep.
And sometimes it's so much fun listening to someone else read a book. I really enjoy it. That's the current book I'm listening to.
Also, shout out to authors that do their own commentary for audio.
Oh, God bless.
Because I want to hear it in the voice of the creator, not just a random person or an AI voice.
Sadly, I can't get Ernest Hemingway to read his own book.
Of course, I know.
Sadly,
what a selfish asshole.
But it would have been great. But it would have been great if you could.
It would have been phenomenal. But I implore you to read it because I've got a good feeling about this DLX vault drop, and I got a good number. I'm feeling ripe about.
What's your number?
Primed up 58.
69. Oh, damn it.
58.
58.
That's backwards of my number, so I like it.
Exactly. You didn't think I already thought of that? My dog. I already covered those bases. Calm down. I got you covered. But listen to that, because if I do win something dope on that drop, I'm sending you that gun. Send me the bill, because the only thing I want on there, in my perspective, is a bell in the cradle, and then
Yeah,
around it
a bell's
says,
pretty much obligatory there, brother. When it's
right. Yeah, but everything else on that gun, and I just want whom the bell tolls kind of in top bottom rocker. It can be uniform, but I would love for you to create that masterpiece, and I guarantee you, I will love every single second of it.
I'm gonna listen to that book, and I'll get you my opinion on it,
dude.
We'll come
Just
up with something cool.
Put whatever you want on it.
No, I got to go back and forth with you. I'm like a tattoo artist, right?
No,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say,
you're gonna be stressed out.
no, don't be
How about
stressed
this? How about
because
this?
I am
How
easy
about
to
this?
please.
How about this? He is easy to please. But he also appreciates the finer things in life. You listen to the book, you can go back and forth with it for me a little bit.
No, don't listen to him.
I'm not saying listen to me, but
he doesn't own the first edition.
Well, you can't say that you're not going to go back and forth with him, and then also tell him he can't go back and forth with someone else because his artistical process is going back and forth. It's not that I'm going to sway him into doing something. He needs the push and pull to get it out of him.
But okay, send it to me. I'll tell you.
Like Salvatore Dali.
That's the first thing. I'll be like, yeah, looks great.
Perfect.
Leonardo da Vinci, Salvatore Dali, it's all me right here.
Yeah. Dude, you know it'd be a sick gun I would love to do though?
What's that?
How hard and crazy would it be to get the Michelangelo Sistine Chapel on a gun?
That's a wrap.
I put the Mona Lisa on a gun, so like
damn dog.
That's a wrap job. Is what you want for that?
Is it
for a 16 chapel? Or...
I'll do it. I'll fight you on it. I'll fight you on it.
My dog.
Yeah, let me see you even draw that for.
What's that?
So let me see you even draw that before I can see you.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a tough one.
I'm saying that a project like that
I would
suited
print
for a print.
But yeah, that would be.
I would send it to you and say, "Do as you will." Roll it up.
Well, what I like about what you do for prints too is that you can mix standard processes with prints. You know, all the companies that do prints will just do a solid print over, but the fact that you can add a print into something, like I think is really neat. Exactly. Yeah, that's not showing up for me great on the screen, but like I've seen it. I know what it looks like. Yeah. So you definitely with your wrap jobs can do something that, you know, a lot of companies don't mess with. So I think that's cool. But like I said, we will definitely have you back on. I appreciate your time. We're going to sign off now. We appreciate everyone, you know, who stuck with us through the end. If you have anyone that you want to shout out, feel free now. If not,
I think I did.
We don't have sponsors. We don't have anything. So we just like to talk it.
Shouldn't we shout out like AG1, like Huberman and fucking Joe Rogan?
Yeah, sure. I don't think they need it, but
doesn't that get us free shit though? That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, you know.
So before I let you go, first thing is,
yes,
where can they find you? How can they get a hold of you? That's the first set.
Aesthetic Anodizing on Instagram, Aesthetic Anodizing on Facebook. But I will be completely honest, the best way to actually get a hold of me is to send me an email. The email's in the bio. The issue is like when you're a one-man band, you have 8 different platforms, 9 different sets of notifications to track. It's very hard. End of life. It's a lot easier if I just get the emails, then I know at least I see them. So just shoot me an email at info@aestheticmetalfinishing.com or
it's easy. It's easy to miss a message when you're with your daughter doing something, thinking you're going to get back to it. Then you get 20 more messages and you just overlook something because you just opened it.
Or she slices her foot open. You got to go to the ER, and then the ER is closed.
And in this age, everyone expects that people should be contactable 24/7. But I believe in a work-life balance of that too. I don't think that you can expect people that you're at their beck and wake. So,
yeah, it's tough, and that's with the modern thing, especially when you work with your hands, right? Like your hands are doing stuff, you're polishing. Like, look, you didn't answer me for 6 hours, brother. I've been polishing,
listening to who the belt holes and polishing the shredder.
I listened to the entire New Testament while polishing these shredders, bro.
Yeah.
By the way, Johnny Cash read the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Audible.
Really?
Dude, You want to talk about fantastic read of it?
He shouldn't be
Really?
going back to back New Testament though. He needs a little something. In
I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
back to back
whenever
New
he
Testament
wants,
is tough. That was 36 hours, bro.
I know. Trust me. But if you ever want to listen to it again,
I'm gonna check that out. Though.
Johnny Cash's voice reading it, wow,
I was
so
just gonna say
peaceful.
his voice reading anything would be okay.
Oh, dude, it's
For
so
sure.
good. But then the next thing I want to ask you is, so I normally at the last end of the segment, we've kind of missed it in the last bit. I normally ask Ryan for some dad/and/or life advice for anyone listening.
Which gets
What
hard
is
when he asks it
something-
every episode, you know. So I appreciate that he's been asking it to guests lately.
Okay.
What would you have for people? It doesn't have to be dad advice. It could just be a wholesome bit of life advice.
It was the one thing that I touched on before, and I think it was. I'm pretty sure I got it from David Goggins' book, "You Can't Hurt Me," and that was you never beat the man that does not quit. If the timeline's long enough, eventually you will get it right. And that's the thing is, you know, a lot of people quit when it gets hard. And actually, believe it or not, there was a parable that Tony Robbins talked about in one of his books where they talked about old marble sculptors. And these guys would sit there with a hammer and smash this big thing of marble over and over again. And it would have absolutely no impact, no showing of wear, anything whatsoever for days on end. And then one day that's
more than days. Some of those dudes
Yeah.
didn't even get to see the completion of their process because it was a life work to get to a part where someone else takes over and that has their life work into it.
And then one day they hit that thing in that right angle, it splits the whole stone in half. So that's the thing is you got to keep with it.
Yes.
And I mean, the only thing you accomplish by quitting is quitting. So
there you go. Well, with that being said, we're going to wrap up because these guys are 2 hours ahead of me, so it's a lot later. But Tyler, dude, wow. I'm flattered by your story. It's an inspiration from what I've gotten to hear, and I'm super excited. We are definitely going to have you back on. Dude, incredible. I love it, dude. And I love your art, and I love the reason why it all started. So, you know, thank you for giving us time to come on to here. I greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, I'm going to do the corny bit that Ryan's always like, you know, make sure if you're enjoying this, just send us a message. Follow us on Instagram. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Let us know how we're doing.
You forgot
to talk to us.
And if you don't like us, unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Click the like button. Don't unsubscribe.
Unlike it if you don't like it.
Don't listen to him. Listen to me. Click the like button. Stay subscribed. Or Justin Trudeau is going to come from Canada and send you a black site.
And with that being said, don't forget about the Discord. We have a
Discord
awesome group of people. We have a Discord set up. All this is obviously free, but thank you for everyone that has stuck with us and just enjoyed this. We greatly appreciate y'all. And every day that we get to look at the analytics, it just seeing the growth makes us happy, and everyone's a part of it. Tyler, you're a part of that, giving us this time. Thank y'all so much, and I hope everyone has just a blessed evening. So with that being said, episode 16 out. Peace.